What do you do when a septic tank in a country home decides to freeze, or at least the line from the house out? Because all of a sudden it means I can't run water anywhere in the house and I can't use the toilet because all the water goes to the septic tank and it's just going to back up in the pipes. So we have to shut down the water. Now, how do you undo the pipes? Well, Kathy, who is a regular contributor to the show, just like Chris, she's doing great renovation projects in the city, but she got stuck out in a country home last week and without a working toilet. So now here's where the problem comes. If you look here at this sketch, hit the house, the water's coming from the sewage line of the house coming here, and it drops into this septic tank. And the septic tank is usually a big concrete or steel thing with lids on it underground or at least under the snow that protect it somewhat. And you get clear zone, you get sludge, you get scum. What happens is the bulk of the water finds its way over here out to the leaching field. And in here is where they have to clean it out every once in a while because that's where all the bacteriological stuff is going on. But her problem is over here. Something froze before it even got there. So, diligent as she is, she went on the web and tried to find an answer and got about 25 of them to try to figure out how to do this. So she picked the one that seemed the best and she sent me a letter and the connection and says, do you think this will really work? And I thought it was a pretty good idea. So now we're going to see if we put it to work. So first of all, she needed some hot water. Where do you get hot water in the wintertime? Where we get a lot of it? In the laundry room. Because in the laundry room, we've got a hot water faucet with a hose attachment. Always with a hose attachment. That's the easiest place in the world to get hot water because I also have a faucet. I can turn it on and off. That's a lot easier than trying to go to the bottom of the hot water tank. So this is a great place to get your hot water. Now we got to get it outside. So we go through the window and running it out through the window. Okay, that's not the most graceful thing in the world, but it works. And so we've got a hose heading on out to the outside. Then you got to go dig open your septic tank. So hers wasn't too deep, and she managed to, by the looks of it, that looks like it was pretty solid ice. So she probably struggled quite a bit to get this thing to finally break open. And here's that pipe coming from the house, and there's the scum sitting on the top of all that. This is not a great place to work, okay? So now here's the objective, and she's going to show us this in her video. So let's take a look at just how she goes about doing this. Now, notice before I start, here's the hose, a couple links of it, hot water. She's got a nozzle on the end, and the nozzle is really useful because it gives me a powerful jet pushing forward. Just hot water coming out is good, but with the nozzle, it's even better. And so we turn it on. She runs it back towards the house, coming from the outside. Now, if she tried to do that from the inside of the house, the ice would just stop the water and it would come back up and start making a mess in the house. It would come out the lowest drain that it could find. So now all the hot water comes back into the septic tank. You can see it's sort of cleaning the pipe out there. And so she's up there. She ran into something. And so she's just sort of being patient. Now, so her friend said, well, did it stop? And then she pushed it again. Says, it moved a little bit already. So she got actually that quickly a couple inches of movement. And as we're going through, an overall, we'll watch this for just a minute, but an overall, she broke through in about 2 minutes, getting all the way up into the house with this as it's running along. And we're going to see in just a minute. But so she worked on it there. We can do this on downspouts for the rain gutters. Same thing. Take the hose out to the outside, run it up the bottom slowly. The water comes back out, makes a mess out there, but it's not in the house. Comes up and it'll melt that from the bottom. And then when it finally breaks through the ice, whatever water is up above will start flowing through. Now you can do it with regular water because that's warmer than ice, but hot water is far more efficient. Now she's sitting there waiting again for some more of this to come and getting closer. And I think this is where she breaks through. Is that about where it's going to happen? Because it was impressive that in real time, in about 2 minutes, she went through what was something that would have cost her quite a plumbing bill. Let's jump up here to the 2-minute mark and see what's going on. And a lot of water still coming through. Oh, she's pulling it back, so she broke through already. and she's pulling it right out of there, and the water is still flowing because it's now coming down from the house. And I'll save you the shot where they go up and flush the toilets. So that's defrosting a sewage line. Go from the outside, hot water in, and you'll see it's not a lot of work. It's just really nasty work. Okay? Long term, we could insulate the pipe if it freezes often. And what do I mean by insulate the pipe? The pipe is down somewhere underground. Ideally, it's 4 feet below ground level, so it's down deep enough to not freeze down below the frost level. That rarely happens. So it is always at least a foot or so down. So what you can do is go down at least 6 inches or a little more and put styrofoam over the top of the pipe, just running on both sides about 2 feet out. And for every inch of styrofoam, the pipe thinks it's got a foot of soil above it. If we get 4 foot of soil of it, we should be below the frost line. So if we have 4 inches of styrofoam, that's as good as that pipe being 4 feet in the ground. And that means that it'll probably never freeze. And you just put soil on top of the pipe and plant your garden, okay, or your grass or whatever you want. And it doesn't have to be deep. So we're covering it on the top. And the other, you could run an electrical wire down there, except, big caution, there's methane gas down there. So you have to run an explosion-proof wire. This is not the rain gutter wire that you get at the hardware store. You would think that would work. You need one that's made for going inside pipes, and in addition, because we're in a gas situation, anything in the plumbing system has to be an explosion-proof pipe. Some people run these down the stack to stop freezing problems on the above, but they have to use explosion-proof wire to do that. And that guarantees there's no spark that's going to blow up your house. Okay? But so there are some preventative things to do, but that's exactly, Kathy has got it right to get it cleaned up.